Hey guys, Steve Bizzle here, got another battle report. So the pictures here, I obviously for whatever reason forgot to take pictures of the deployment, so these pictures are taken after the first movement phase. We've got a rematch here, so this is against the Ogre player I played in my last battle report. We decided to have a rematch, but for this game we've swapped armies. So he sent me a message saying, hey look, these are all the models I have, make an army. And I sent him a message saying these are all the models I have for Chaos, make an army. So we did that and we met up and we're going to have this game. So we just decided to do battle line. Again, my opponent is fairly new, so I'm not going to bombard him with the special missions until he's more comfortable playing fantasy. So we just did battle line, 2,000 points. Not really much in the way of terrain on this table. When we went in, there was only really sort of forests available. There wasn't many buildings around. For those that don't know, we play at Warhammer World. It's our local store, and their setup is they have just like dozens and dozens of tables, and you just kind of grab scenery from wherever you want. But at the moment we were in there was a 40k event on, so there was very little in the way of fantasy terrain out on the tables. So we just grabbed some forests and put together a table like this. So we'll go into deployment. Starting on my right hand side here, so I have an Iron Blaster, Saber Tusk. Again, this is after first movement phase, so yeah, he's way off into the table there. Into this unit of bulls here is like the main sort of Death Star unit. So this unit of 9 bulls being sort of proxied up by a Yeti and 2 Iron Guts there at the back. He didn't have 9 bull models, which I found quite rather strange. In the second rank there is a Butcher, who has a Dispel Scroll. He's level 2 with the Law of the Great Maw. He has a great weapon, and I think he has the some kind of shield. I can't remember exactly what I gave these guys off the top of my head, but for the most part it's not really important. He had a great weapon in the Dispel Scroll, and he's level 2 Great Maw wizard. The Bruiser in the centre, that's the Bragg model. He's BSB. He also has a great weapon. He has heavy armor. He has the enchanted shield. So he's got a 3-up, and he also has the Crown of Command. And the Slaughtermaster on the left of the second rank. He had the Hellheart, and he had a great weapon, and he had the Charm Shield. So kind of gone less on the defensive equipment because they are in the second rank, more just going for those great weapon attacks over the top. And then to the left of the bull unit there is under the Saber Tusk. So next picture we see that I have a unit of 8 Iron Guts, unit of 4 Lead Belchers, and way over here on the left there's another single Saber Tusk and another Iron Blaster. So I was careful to keep the Saber Tusk 6 inches away from the rest of my units at all times. Apart from the one in the centre, because I have the general and BSB bubble to protect me there. So moving into the Ogre Kingdom's magic phase, I go ahead and I throw a Curse of Anra here onto the Chaos Warrior block there. He dispels it, but it does allow me to cast Toothcracker here onto the bull unit, which is +1 toughness. It's fine by me, and I'll take that. Oh, if I didn't mention it, the Slaughtermaster's taking level 4 beasts. And then onto the shooting phase, the Lead Belchers here at long range managed to kill a Chaos Knight. And so I go ahead and from either flank I put a cannonball through the Golby's Chariot from the Iron Blaster on the left. It shoots. So I put it like 8 inches from the back of the base, and I go ahead and roll a 10 to bounce. You know, of course I do. And it overshoots the Ogre's Chariot, and it kills 1 Chaos Warrior. The warrior unit just needs a bit of reshuffling. That gets done after I took this picture. And the Iron Blaster in the bottom right hand corner goes ahead and it shoots straight through the Golby's Chariot and straight through the Lord, and then I roll a 1 to wound the chariot, and the cannonball stops. So, great shooting there from the Iron Blasters. When I fight against them, they're like crack shots and kill something a turn. When I use them, nah, it doesn't do anything. So going into Warriors Chaos turn 1, He has no charge to declare, so he goes ahead and goes full march with the Chaos Knights here. I think he's probably moved up a little bit too far. But I think he wants to just threaten the Iron Blaster in the corner there as quickly as possible. The Knights are where the movement tray, the front of the movement tray is. They've just, again, because of the modular hill, they've just slipped back a little bit. The Dogs move up behind them as well. So we get to see the Warriors of Chaos deployment here for the first time. So he's got 2 units of Warhounds that push forward. He has 2 Golbeast Chariots that have also pushed forward. They're both marked to Nurgle this game, not the corn ones that I normally use. He's gone for a full Nurgle theme, apart from the Skull Crushers, which we'll see in a second. Everything's marked to Nurgle. So he's got 2 Golbeast Chariots. They've moved up marked to Nurgle. He has a unit of 20 Warriors of Nurgle. They have hand weapon and shield. And he has a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. He also has the Mark of Nurgle and a great weapon, and I'm not sure what the equipment he has. It never really came up. So that's his first movement phase and his deployment. And over on the right hand side here, he's got another unit of 5 Warhounds and a unit of 3 Skull Crushers with full command. They move forward like so. So going into Warriors of Chaos magic phase. So he goes ahead and he throws Ranted Visitations onto the Bull unit. So I go, what the hell, I'll just let it go through. I'm toughness 5 at this point. It's not really going to do much. So it does D6, strength 5 hits. I think it does like 2 wounds to a Bull. And then I roll the toughness test and I fail it. So he rolls another D6, strength 5 hits. And it kills off the Bull. He's rolling quite low for his hits and his wounds. Bearing in mind I'm toughness 5, so strength 5's not doing very many wounds when it does go through. But then again, I fail the toughness test again and take another D6 strength 5 hits, and it puts another wound onto a Bull. But then I do eventually pass the toughness test. So at toughness 5, I failed 3 toughness tests on Ranted Visitation. I was really hoping that wasn't going to be a sign of an omen of how this game's going to go. And he also manages to get the Blades of Putrefaction off onto this Chaos Warrior unit. I think I attempted to dispel. So in this magic phase, he goes ahead and he throws out Plague Wind, and I use most of my dice to dispel that, and then I don't have enough dice to. I failed to dispel Ranted Visitations, and so then I don't get my bonus against Blades of Putrefaction, and that goes through. I can't dispel it. So going into Ogre Kingdom's turn 2, so you look here, the big change here is the Iron Guts on the left hand side. So I go ahead and I declare a charge against the Dogs that were in front of them. Predictably they fled, and I was thinking, hey, they're only sort of 4 inches away from that Golbeast Chariot. They're gonna flee, they're gonna pop through the back of those units, and I'm gonna have a failed charge. And I'll be fairly happy with that. However, they roll like a 3 to flee, and then I run it, and the Guts run them down. So I'm in a fairly bad position there to take 2 Golbeast Chariots into the front and a Chaos Lord into the flank. So probably maybe a mistake on my part, but a combination of not really thinking things through properly and bad luck there. So, but I do have Saber Tusks I can potentially block off. One of the Golbeasts there, maybe both Golbeasts, depending on how far away the Saber Tusk is, and the Chaos Lord. So I've got a contingency there. And in the bottom right of this picture, the Bulls go ahead and charge those Dogs, and they elect to hold, which I was surprised at. Because again, if they fled, they're just going to bounce through the Chaos Lord and the Chaos Warrior unit, and then I'm going to have a really, really long charge if I want to elect to redirect. So I probably would have fled in that situation, but my opponent decided to hold. Again, allowing me to overrun into the Chaos Lord if I choose to. And over on this side of the other table, the Iron Blaster moved to the left to get a shot through those units and through the trees into the Golbeast Chariot again. The Lead Belchers move up and to the side out of the charge arc of those Chaos Knights. And the Saber Tusk does its usual job of just sitting an inch away in front of the unit. It looks there that if the Knights go in to the Saber Tusk, they can overrun into the Iron Blaster, but they can't, and I made sure that wasn't possible. It's just sometimes camera images look different from how it actually is. So they can kill that Saber Tusk and overrun, but they're not going to hit the Iron Blaster if they do so. And then remaining moves, so I go ahead and I throw 1 Saber Tusk in front of the Golbeast Chariot there, and 1 Saber Tusk in front of the Chaos Lord. I couldn't get Saber-tusk in front of the into the front of the Gobi's chariot, unfortunately. However, I think the Iron Guts can take one Gobi's chariot coming in. He's going to do, a fair bit of damage, maybe kill 2 bulls, maybe 3 if he rolls really, really well. But then I'm going to get a load of strength 6 attacks back. And, even though I'm hitting on 5s, I should be able to either kill it or, I'm still going to be steadfast. So, one going in I can deal with. I didn't want both getting in, so the Saber-tusk there doing its job, redirecting it away. And this Iron Blaster way up on the hill over here just moves back up into the hill to get a shot through the Chaos Lord and the Gobi's chariot. And it's magic phase, so I go ahead and again I think I pull some dice by throwing Curse of Anra here onto the Chaos Warrior unit, and that gets dispelled, and then I get Toothcracker off onto this unit. Toothcracker for to cast on an 8 is a really good spell. I mean, if this is on my level 4, you can quite successfully 1 dice Toothcracker, and plus 1 toughness is brilliant for ogres. And then into the shooting phase. So I've took a picture of this Gobi's chariot here. Again, the Iron Blaster shoots through the trees and through all the units. You get a clear line of sight, and then rolls a 1 to wound. And I think the same thing happens on the other flank with the other Iron Blaster. Again, I roll a 1 to wound. Just really not impressed with the Iron Blasters at all. I just can't seem to I'm hitting. There'd be I think what actually happens. So on this Gobi's chariot here, I roll a 1 to wound, and then the Gobi's chariot on the other side. So I bounce clean over the Chaos Lord with my first bounce. I think I roll like a 6 that overshoots the Chaos Lord, and then I roll a 2, and then I roll a misfire, and then I re-roll and I roll a 2. So I overshoot the Chaos Lord and I fall short of the other Gobi's chariot. So 2 turns and all the Iron Blasters have done is kill 1 Chaos Warrior. So I'm very not impressed there at all. And after combat here, the bulls, predictably, excuse me guys, wipe out those dogs. And I think I obviously just select to reform because I blocked off the Chaos Lord with the Saber-tusk. So I've just reformed to make sure no one is in my flank. So going into Warriors of Chaos turn 2. So he goes ahead and he throws the 1 Gold Beast into the Iron Guts. He throws 1 Gold Beast into the Saber-tusk, Chaos Lord into the Saber-tusk. And the move that really caught me out was he threw the dogs into the bulls. I didn't see the point of that. If it was me, I'd have just put them in them, to redirect them an inch away, turn them to the side, so that I can't, get the overrun. But this is how, where it works. So he goes ahead and throws the dogs into the bull unit, which, again, I think is a mistake. And over on this side, the Skull Crushers need an 11 to charge the Iron Blaster and the other fell charge. And over on this side, he goes ahead and charges the dogs into the Iron Blaster, and then the knights into the Saber-tusk. So I'm not sure why the dogs went into the Iron Blaster. Looks like one of them's died from Dangerous Terrain. I think maybe his hope is hoping that I roll badly and maybe break me through combat res or tie me up with shooting. But with all the attacks the Iron Blaster gets, that's just not going to happen. He should know what Iron Blasters can do. This is his army after all. And predictably, after combat, the Iron Blaster doesn't take any wounds, kills 3 dogs. The dogs break from combat, and I fail the restrain test, so I have to run them down. But I fail. And the knights just, pimp slap the Saber-tusk and reform, like so. Oh, and this picture was just gut-wrenching. What's the big thing missing from this picture? It's the Iron Guts. So the Gold Beast chariot goes in, kills 2 Iron Guts, which I was actually fairly happy with. He only did 6 wounds. I then get a load of strength 6 attacks back. I only do a single wound. Between Mark of Nurgle and being toughness 6, I just can't put many wounds on. And then I'm on an 8 with a reroll because I'm steadfast, and I blow it, and the Iron Guts get run down. So right there, after losing the Iron Guts, I'm starting to think that this might actually be game. if I get the Gore Beasts into to combat with the Bulls and the Warriors get into combat with the Bulls, it's just going to go south. So I really think here in turn 2 that the game's over. So moving on, predictably the Gore Beast kills the Saber Tusk and the Cursed Lord kills the other Saber Tusk. But this is his turn, so in Ogre's turn 3 I can charge his Lord, potentially kill him and overrun into those Chaos Warriors. So over on this side, this is actually taken at the end of the movement phase. So the Iron Blaster elects to charge the one lone dog just because it's fleeing, so it has to flee again. I want to push it off the table, sooner. And then I go ahead and test a redirect into the Knights, and I fail my redirect test, and then I end up running down that one hound and end up way over there. So, probably a mistake from me. I shouldn't have relied on Leadership 7. However, that's a 50-50 roll, and I maybe kind of got greedy by wanting to get those dogs off the table. He's going to be rallying on Snake Eyes. I should have just gone straight into the back of the Chaos Knights. But, hey, there we go. Best laid plans and all that. And the Lead Belchers, I wanted them to shoot at these Chaos Knights, so no matter where I put them, I couldn't get out of the charge arc without marching. So I just turned to face, and I'm, at short range I should be able to pick up 2 or 3 Chaos Knights, and then I think I can handle them in combat. So I go ahead and I take this charge in the centre into the Chaos Lord. And over on this side, the Iron Bastard backs up as far away as possible from those Skull Crushers. Again, I can't get out of the charge arc, so I'm just going to back up and try and get another shot and do some damage before it gets charged and killed. So the magic phase, again, I go ahead and I throw a Tooth Cracker onto this unit. I'm getting that spell every time consistently. He's letting it go and then dispelling all of my Lord of Beast spells. So into the shooting phase, I rolled 7 hits with the Lead Belchers onto the Chaos Knights, and this was my roll to wound. Not a single wound, so Lead Belchers are dead. And again, I think this picture here, the Gold Beast in the bottom left of the picture there got hit by a cannonball, and I think I put 2 wounds on it. So again, lackluster from the Iron Blasters, and I think the other one fails to wound or misses or whatever. But I do in this combat between impact hits and the attacks from. So I think the impact hits take off like 2 wounds because I'm getting strength 6 impact hits. So they have to take off 2 wounds for the Chaos Lord. He's not got a very good. I think he's got any ward save. If he did, it wasn't a very good one because he's Mark of Nurgle. So the strength 6 impact hits put a couple of wounds on, and then the Bulls hitting on 6s don't do anything. However, my characters hitting on 5s managed to finish him off the great weapons, and it looks like he doesn't do anything in return. I don't think, which is fairly lucky. I think being toughness 5 helped me. Or maybe the Bulls killed him before he got to attack. I'm not sure. Either way, it looks like I didn't take any wounds, and the Chaos Lord died. And I elected to overrun, and I rolled Snake Eyes, and I didn't get into that into the Chaos Warrior unit, which is so now I'm going to take a Warrior unit to the face and a Gore Beast Chariot to the flank, and that's game over. That unit's going to die. However, that Chaos Warrior unit fails its panic test from the Chaos Lord dying and flees. Oh god, I was so relieved. I may actually still have a chance in this game. So going into Warriors of Chaos turn 3, the Knights do indeed charge the Lead Belchers, which of course the Lead Belchers are going to die. And the Knights there rally, which is unfortunate for me. And over on this side, so the Skull Crushers go ahead and make a huge charge. They think they needed either double 6 or 11, and then they get it and charge the Iron Blaster. Take a wound from going through the trees, but it doesn't matter because they're going to kill the Iron Blaster. And the Gore Beast Chariot on this side just moves around to get a flank charge onto the Lead Belchers if by some miracle they survive. Which they don't. The Knights kill like I think they only kill one lead belcher, and then I do nothing in return. So I'm still steadfast, but I blow my roll. I roll an 8 instead of a 7 and get run down. And I obviously didn't get a picture, but the garbage chariot went into the flank of the bulls. He doesn't do anything to me. Oh no, it looks like he kills 2 bulls. So he does 5 wounds. Pulls off the bull that was wounded, and then the bull that had no damage on him. However, I do 2 wounds in return. I have the crown of command, and I win. I win combat, and I turn to face him because this is his turn. So those warriors are not going to charge me in the flank in the following turn. So I go ahead and turn to face. Hopefully being able to kill him in my turn, and then reform back to face those warriors. And if not, I'll just test a reform. And if I fail that test, then I'm really in trouble. And of course, the Skull Crusher's over here. Wipe out the Iron Blaster and over and off the table. So going into Warriors I keep thinking I'm playing Warriors Chaos. So Ogres turn 4. The Iron Blaster moves around the trees there to get a flank shot into those knights. Again, the picture's not great, but you can see the flank. And in the magic phase, I go ahead and again pull some dice by throwing a Curse of Anra here onto the warrior unit. He dispels that, and then I get Whistles through, which is absolutely amazing. And so into the shooting phase, the Iron Blaster. So I go ahead and I measure, and I realise that I'm in range for a grape shot. And so Iron Blaster's in strength 10 grape shots is too nice of a prospect to ignore. So I go ahead and risk it, and I roll a 10 on the artillery dice. And oh man, I was so pleased with that. But between the trees and rolling to hit, I only kill 3. So yeah, whatever. And then he passes his panic test. Moving into combat, so between Whistles being up and all my great weapons, I do manage to kill the Golby's Chariot. I do take 2 more wounds onto the bulls, and then I just tend to face the Chaos Warrior unit there that's going to come into my bull unit in the next turn. And that's what happens. So Warriors Chaos turn 4. I take the unit of warriors to the face, and that lone Chaos Knight to the flanks. Pretty smart idea. If I can't kill that Chaos Knight, then he's going to have a flank. And the Golby's Chariot over here just moves around to begin threatening the Iron Blaster. So this is the Warriors Against Magic phase. So he goes ahead and he throws a Plague Wind through my bull unit and inflicts 2 wounds. So it kills that wounded bull, puts a wound onto that bull. And this is after combat phase, so this is going to be fairly complicated, so I'll recall it as best I can. So we pulled the Bruiser and the Exalted Hero out of the warrior unit. They go into a challenge. I take 2 wounds from the Exalted Hero, because he has a great weapon, and Mark of Nurgle. But between my great weapon attacks and Stomp, I do manage to kill the Exalted Hero, which was nice for me. I think with my attacks I only do 1 wound, and then the Stomp does another wound. Whistles helped me massively there. The Chaos Knight in the flank does a wound on the Slaughtermaster, and the Nurgle Warriors do, it looks like, 4 wounds to the bulls, and then I think do sort of 4 or 5 wounds in return. I do lose combat between all combat res, but the Bruiser has a Crown of Command, and I stick with my Revolver 8. Which again I failed the first time, but passed the second time. I think I've failed every single leadership test I've had to roll, but luckily the Bruiser allows me to pass there. So into Ogre Kingdoms turn 5. The Iron Blaster there just moves around to get a shot onto the Golby's Chariot. And in the magic phase, I think I throw up Whistle's Wild Form. I wasn't taking many pictures at this point because I had very little to do. I only had the Iron Blaster and the unit of bulls left alive. So I get Whistles off again. I'm starting to roll sort of really low magic phases like Snake Eyes and 3 dice, which is fine because all I need to do is push through Whistles. So if he doesn't get the Dispel dice, I can just push through Whistles. And the Iron Blaster hits this Garbage Chariot and rolls a 1 again for the sort of 4th consecutive time. And then, so straight to combat, there's not much to do other than the combat. So we go ahead and the Bruiser gets in a challenge again, this time with his Sorcerer Lord. This is probably a mistake. What he should have done is just pull out his unit champion, which he didn't. So the Bruiser takes no wounds, and the between being toughness 6 and what have you, he doesn't manage to put any wounds on me. However, I do put 2 wounds onto the Sorcerer Lord, can't finish him off. Me and Mark of Nurgle's just keeping these characters alive, and I think a lot longer than they should. The Slaughtermaster takes another wound from, I think it was the Chaos Knight. Again, I was running out of gold tokens at this point, so I put a dice on his token there, so he's down to 3 wounds. And the Nurgle Warriors do, I think it looks like another 4 wounds to the Bulls, which I don't save. However, between my attacks back from the Bulls and on my characters with great weapons, I do manage to kill 6 or 7 Chaos Warriors and Stomps as well. And I actually win combat by 4 after all modifiers, because he loses his rank bonus now. He's lost the even with his flank and everything, he's down by 4 because I did so many wounds. The Chaos Knight breaks, but the Chaos Warriors hold, which is really unfortunate for me. I really could have done with them breaking, but you know, that's what happens. So moving on to Warriors of Chaos, turn 5. The Skull Crushers being out of range of everything, just full march back into the action. I forgot to mention, well, obviously you can probably tell the Iron Blast actually managed to kill one of the Skull Crushers, so they're down to 2. And the Golby's Chariot here moves up to get into range to flank the Bulls next turn if they hold again. And the Chaos Knight fails to rally. He's on Snake Eyes, of course, and he runs away again. And in the magic phase, so he goes ahead and he throws a Plague Wind through the Bull unit again. I get no lookout, sirs, and he just puts a wound onto the Firebelly. The Butcher, sorry. So going into combat, this was incredible. So the Butcher finishes off the Sorcerer Lord. The Slaughtermaster again has taken 2 more wounds. He's down to a single wound. However, there's only 3 Chaos Warriors left, so I must have killed 7 or 8 of them. Get him down to testing on Snake Eyes because he's not steadfast anymore. He breaks, but I can't run him down. But this is in his turn, so I get to charge him again in my turn 6 coming up after this, which is brilliant. So, man, this Bull unit has probably just saved the game for me. I couldn't have asked for any more after the Iron Guts getting run down. And that's what happens. So, Ogre's turn 6, I go ahead and I charge into the Chaos Warriors. They roll a pitiful flee distance and I run them down. It seems to be a recurring theme between me and my opponent here. Every time he flees, he rolls like garbage and then I run him down. Maybe he should just, you know, hold when he can, but obviously he was fleeing, so he couldn't. But what this is brilliant for me is it gets me way out of charge range of the Golby's Chariot, and I think as well on the Skull Crushers, but I can't remember if I measured it up properly or not. And the Iron Blaster over on that side just goes to get a shot into that Chaos Knight and the Golby's Chariot. Hopefully I can pick up all those points there. But of course he rolls a misfire. You know, why would I expect the Iron Blast to do anything for me this game? And in the magic phase, so I'm very careful what I cast. I don't want to cast anything too ridiculous on the Slaughtermaster because he's only got 1 wound left, and if he miscasts, he could kill himself. So I just go ahead and I throw the Savage Beast of Horos onto the Butcher there, just in case anything weird happens. He can challenge out and just go mental. Ironically, turn 6 when I've got very little spells to cast, I roll double 6 phase. But like I say, I don't cast much just because I'm not wanting to risk you know, just blowing up my Slaughtermaster. I think I also go for Toothcracker onto this unit in an attempt to get them +1 toughness and to get the wound back onto the Butcher, but my opponent dispels it. And going into Warriors of Chaos turn 6, so the Golby's Chariot, I don't even think it moves. And again, I don't think the Skull Crushers move, and the game ends like this. He can't get any charges off. The Knights fail to rally, but they don't flee off the table. So we just call it here. He can't do anything for his turn, he can't book any points. And it ends up being a victory to the Ogre Kingdoms by about 640 points. You wouldn't think it really, because all I've got left is the Bull Unit and an Iron Blaster. Do have all the characters still alive, but he does have the Skull Crushers, the Knight Unit still alive, Gobi's Chariot still alive. So he's still got a fair few points on the table. But that Bull Unit consists of about 1,000 points of my army. You know, between the Bull Unit themselves, that's about 320 points. The Slaughtermaster was like nearly 400 points. And then, you know, the Bruiser and the Butcher are like 180 each or whatever. So I just was able to save all those points. Like I say, it's over 1,000 points. And it provides a victory for the Ogre Kingdoms, which is really, really good, because after the Iron Guts were lost, I was really, really worried that this game was gone. But the grit and guile of the Ogres pulled them through the day. So I hope you like that battle report, guys. If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There'll be more battle reports to come. And drop any comments in the box below if you noticed any glaring mistakes or anything that should have been done differently. And just any general feedback. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.